Hello, everyone. My name is Carlos Ranchetti, and this is the Student World Prime Choices. This week, a very special one. Guys, just so you know, my feeling today is when we invite someone, a celebrity, to your house, or, well, I never did that. But anyway, today I'm feeling like I'm welcoming over to my place a few celebrities because these three excellent universities that are joining us today, they are well known by most of you, if not all of you, right? So we're very excited. And we're going to be playing some games. We're going to be talking about them. We're going to be showing all different sides of them so you can compare and see which one best matches with you. Because here at the student world, we always say that when it comes to studying abroad, there's no such thing as one institution fits all. Every institution is different, and every person, every student has their own interests, their own preferences. So it really is a matching process, right? So we're hoping that at the end of the session today, at the end of this live, you will have fallen in love with one of these three amazing institutions. All right. So yeah, so we're very excited. Again, if you're not following us on social media, join our community on Instagram at the Student World. We're always posting news, we're posting opportunities, we're posting about different universities, we're posting about different programs. Every day we're posting something different to help you find the best study abroad opportunity. So yeah, follow us. It's on the screen here at the Student World. If you use Instagram, do it. If you're someone who prefers Facebook, then go ahead and you can follow us on Facebook, all right? But let's just make sure we stay close so you can get the most out of all the content that we're producing there. Guys, I'm very excited. So hope you are as well. Let me open the chat here. Let's see who do we have joining us today. A lot of people already commenting here. I'm very happy every time I see that, we have people coming from all over the world, from Mexico. We have Dana Vasquez. Hello, Dana from Mexico. Raful. Guys, by the way, that's one of the hardest things to do is to pronounce some of your names. So please don't judge me if I mispronounce your names. Please. But anyway, so please put here the country that you're watching us from. Is it in the morning there for you? Is the afternoon? Is the evening? What is it? Here for me, I'm based in Central Europe. So it's right now 9:03 p.m. But it still feels like the end of the afternoon because we're in summer, thank God. But yeah, so put it there. Henan joining us from Brazil as well. Henan, I think I've seen here before in one of our lives, right? By the way, guys, put it here. Is this the first live that you're joining here with us, or you've come here before? That will be something that I would love to know, because we're right now we started doing this 2 shows a week. One is every Tuesday, which is the Student World Spotlight. And on Wednesdays, today, we have the Student World Prime Choices. So yeah, every day, this exact same time. All right, so who else we have? John from Sao Paulo, Vivian from Bogota, Bianca from Spain, 9 p.m. for you as well, Bianca Medina. And then we have Sarah from Nigeria. Lots of people joining us here today. Great. All right, then. So without further ado, the first thing I want to do is, again, we have 3 guests here today, or actually, with one of the guests is running late, but we are hoping that she will be here, but she is running a bit late. But in Australia, it's super early, so I'm okay with that, but let's hope that she can join us. But anyway, I'm going to start inviting the other 2 universities who are already here, okay? The first one that I would like to invite is University of Toronto. And we have an amazing person here representing University of Toronto. Her name is Natasha. So please, guys, welcome the first university of this week's Prime Choice. Hi, Natasha. Great to have you here. How are you doing today?
Hi, Carlos. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having us.
Wow, it's such a pleasure to have someone like you guys, like University of Toronto. I even prepare tips for me not to forget. University of Toronto, correct me if I'm wrong, but last time we checked here at Student World, you guys were the number one in Canada, according to the higher education group, THE. And also, you are located in the amazing city of Toronto, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the financial capital of Canada, right? A great place, multicultural city, amazing. And you're also ranked the number 18. You're among the top 20 best universities in the world, which is amazing. So the first thing I wanted to ask you is that first introduce yourself, please, what you do so people can get to know you. And then I'm going to ask you to, in 1 minute, introduce University of Toronto to all these amazing 58 folks that are watching us here.
Well, that's great. So thanks, everyone. My name is Natasha. I'm the Assistant Director of International Student Recruitment at the University of Toronto. And so I work with all incoming undergraduate students. So anyone interested in studying at the University of Toronto across our 3 campuses in any of our undergraduate programs, I help them navigate the choices at U of T and help them through the application and admissions process. So my focus is mostly on the undergraduate programs at the university. Now, for the University of Toronto, as Carlos kindly mentioned earlier, we are considered Canada's best university, one of the world's best universities, typically ranking in the top 20 or top 25 universities around the world. I always tell students they shouldn't pick a university just based on that ranking, but I think it does speak to the degree portability for U of T. So if you graduate with the University of Toronto degree, no matter where you go, your degree will be recognized. And to reflect that, we have about 600,000 living alumni in over 190 different countries and territories around the world. So our grads really do take their degrees all over. Not only are we Canada's best university, but we are also Canada's largest university. So our student population at the university is around 90,000. And those 90,000 students are actually spread across 3 campuses at the university. So you never have 90,000 students in one place. We have lots of layers of community to break up that student body to give you a smaller experience on our campuses. Cool. We have several different kinds of undergraduate programs that students can study across those 3 campuses, including a full range of arts, business, science, engineering, music, kinesiology, architecture, you name it, we probably offer it. So lots of options for students to be involved outside the classroom as well and really have their own personalized degree at U of T.
You can bring it down. That was a very, very brief, very quick introduction. Obviously, we're going to show you way more about University of Toronto, and we're going to have time to do that. But now, one of the best ways to have the first impression of the university is to check their amazing videos of their campus and so on. So now, let's take a look at University of Toronto's video.
You've been driving towards something, cutting your own path, learning along the way what interests you in this world and what draws your fascination. You dig deeper, always questioning, always challenging, pushing boundaries, finding inspiration even in difficult times, and always doing it your way. For nearly 2 centuries, we have welcomed a new class of students into the U of T community, fostering an environment where everyone can flourish and follow their passion. The University of Toronto is one of the world's great universities, attracting the brightest minds from around the globe, equipping them with the necessary tools to navigate our rapidly changing world. The next step of your journey is about to begin. And we can't wait to meet you, the aspiring astrophysicist, educator, architect, engineer, athlete. Whatever you aspire to be, this is the place for you. Welcome to the University of Toronto.
See you this fall. Oh my God, I have to say, I love watching these videos. It gets me so exciting. Like, I can't believe I already study abroad. I did my master's already, so I can't do it again. But Sometimes I'm like, oh no, I wanted to do that. It's such an amazing experience. All right, Natasha. So now you can stay here on stage, right? And we're gonna bring now the other guest that we have here today, which is representing a university in another city that owns my heart, which is London. Please welcome to the stage the London Metropolitan University, represented by Megan. Hi, Megan. How are you?
Hi, Carlos. I'm good. Thank you so much for having me today.
My pleasure. We love welcoming you guys here. Megan, as I did with Natasha here, I want to give you first an opportunity to present yourself, what you do for the university. You're actually based in the US, right? So can you tell us a little bit about what you do for the university? And also, you got 1 minute to quickly introduce the London Metropolitan University.
Sure, no problem. So my name is Megan, and I am the Senior International Officer for North America for London Metropolitan University. As you can hear, I'm not British. I'm actually American, but I'm part of London Met's international team. So we have regional representatives who really cover every continent. And so I'm actually based outside New York. So I'm in Eastern time zone. It's a little past 3 p.m. here, but my whole team and everyone I work with is on campus in the UK. So we are in central London, England, really such a fantastic gateway to all of Europe. And London is such a global city. So really, I always say, London, while it could be a British city, it's truly a global city. You experience the entire world when you're in London. And that's one of the beautiful things about being a student at London Met. We go by London Met for short. So again, I work on full degree recruitment with the international team. So this is undergraduate degrees and postgraduate degrees. For students from my region, actually, the amount of time the degree takes can be shorter. So it's 3-year bachelor's degrees and 1-year master's degrees, which is a different model than, for instance, in the United States. And so that's normally something students are really attracted to. And again, I can always connect you with the region representative from anywhere in the world, but I happen to be the one who is joining you today to tell you a little bit about London Met. So in terms of our campus, we actually have 2 campuses right in the heart of central London. And that's one thing that I really love about our university. We're really in the heart of the action. So all the sights and sounds and things you've seen on postcards, you can get to all of them, Buckingham Palace or Big Ben or down to the Thames River, within 15 minutes on the tube, which is the underground metro, or you can hop on one of the double-decker red buses and just get to kind of explore and look around. You can go to a West End show, which is the top theater there, similar to Broadway. And so we're really in the heart of the action there. Our 2 campuses, one of them is our School of Art, Architecture, and Design. And that one's actually walking distance to the Tower Bridge, which you might have seen on postcards, that big blue, beautiful bridge in London. And our other campus is our Holloway campus, and that covers business and computing and IT, digital media, human sciences, social sciences. We have something there called the Super Lab, which is one of the largest teaching labs in all of Europe. So it's a really cool facility if you're studying the sciences. Students always know the location of that campus because it happens to be right next to Emirates Stadium, which is the home of Arsenal Football Club, if you're a football fan. And it's also about 5 minutes from St. Pancras International train station. So you can actually hop on a train from very close from our campus, about 5 minutes on the tube. You're at this station, hop on a train, you get to Paris in about 2.5 hours. So really well connected. You can get to mainland Europe. And again, just have classmates from all over the world. So that's a little background on London Met. I'm sure we'll get much more into it during the session today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to point out something, just like I pointed some things about University of Toronto. I wanted to highlight that, first of all, you guys are one of the most diverse universities in the UK, with over 128 nationalities, according to our research. And also, you have one of the largest science teaching labs in all of Europe, called the Super Lab or something like that. So we're gonna get to the campus part of the conversation, which we would love to hear more about that. But just another point, that's my favorite part of London, by the way, the Tower Bridge. Like every time I go there, I try to stay close to their area because just walking there, there's a marina close by also. I love that area. But anyway, I have to play Switzerland here today, guys. I need to be impartial. But I want you don't have to play Switzerland. In fact, you're here to see which one best matches you. So use the hashtag Toronto or hashtag London to tell us which one you think that is, more similar to what you're looking for. All right. But anyway, so guys, again, as you know, here at the Student World, we're super transparent. We were supposed to have a third university here today, which was University of Sydney, amazing, representing Australia. But the representative had last minute issues, so she was not able to join us. But we're still hoping that she can manage to join us in a couple of minutes. We're doing our best behind the scenes. But just to let you know, all right? But yeah, so yeah, let's get this going, guys. We already have a vote for Toronto, but wait, we haven't talked about it yet. Natasha is like, yeah, 1-0. But anyway, don't worry, Megan, we're going to get there. Sorry, my team is reminding me here. We have a video from London Metropolitan University. Is that right, Megan? Let's take a look at this nice video of yours.
This is just kind of a fun student video, so I like this one.
Cool, let's take a look.
The next station is Farringdon. This is a Circle Line train via Liverpool Street and Tower Hill.
When a man's tired of London, he's tired of life. Samuel Johnson was totally right. And what he didn't say is in this great city, you should always do something you love. Our university is literally in the heart of London. This is my Shoreditch. This is my Islington. This is our London. And those jokers that say they're from these ends. But we know where it's at. We got tall buildings with sweet views and nice walls. We're talking totally immersive, interactive and collaborative technology. Just another reason to do something you love. So they say size isn't everything. But having one of the biggest teaching super labs in Europe is definitely worth noting. Sweet. Now it's easy to be teacher's pet when you're doing something you love. I mean, what other university has artists in residence for their students? So if you're going to do something you love at London Met.
Nice. All right, guys. So we have already thousands of votes here for Toronto. Megan, don't worry.
I know. What's this about, everyone?
Right?
Toronto and Canada are obviously incredible, but so is London in the UK. So hopefully we can give everyone a good idea on both.
We can get it. So, guys, since it's just the two of you, here's what we're gonna do. Right? It's a quick game. So we have our team had come up with 10 topics that we're going to approach. Right? From 1 to 10, each topic is represented by a different number. All right. And you're going to take turns. And for example, we'll start with Megan, right? Because London needs a bit of a,
I've got a vote. I've got a vote that just.
You got a vote. You got a vote from Dana Vasquez from Mexico. Great. But anyway, so in your turn, you're gonna have a chance to talk about that particular topic, and then I'm gonna move on to Natasha's, and then back to you, right? So you're gonna be able to talk 2 times about that particular topic that you want to explore, and just say whatever you want. And then on Natasha's turn, she's gonna have 2 times to talk about that other topic as well. All right, so let's just start with you, Megan. Please pick a number from 1 to 10.
Let's go with 6.
Number 6. The topic is application process. Ooh, we'll start straight to the point. So please, can you talk a little bit about what is the application process like and the requirements for people that wants to study in London Metropolitan University?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I can talk through our application process, and actually is similar to the application process for a lot of the UK universities. So that can be helpful for the group, for anyone who's looking there. But normally there's two ways to apply to UK universities, including London Met. One is directly through our website. So you can find the course that you're interested in on our website, and right on the course page, you can click apply now. Go through all the steps, really straightforward, easy application. There's no application fee, which is really nice for students who come from regions where they end up spending a lot of money on application fees. It's completely free. And the other way that you can apply is actually through UCAS, which is spelled capital UCAS. Perhaps we can drop it in the chat later, but that's essentially a common application for universities in the United Kingdom. So if you want to apply to up to 5 different courses in the UK, you can use the UCAS application, and it'll essentially feed into our application system. So that's up to you. Apply through UCAS, and you can apply to 5 different universities or courses, or you can apply directly through our website. The applying through our website, the nice thing about that is that it's free. UCAS does have a small fee, but it's not too expensive considering you get to put everything into one portal to blast out to 5 universities. And it tends to be rolling admissions. So some of the programs have earlier deadlines, but for us at London Met, we'll be taking applications until early August for students who even want to get started at the end of September this year. So our September 2021 term begins on September 20th, and we will technically have international applications coming in until August. So it really gives you a wide window to be able to consider and study. We have 2 entry periods per year. So we have the September start date, and we also have a January start date. So students, choose different calendars based on their personal lives. September tends to be the bigger intake, the more traditional academic year start, but we have a lot of students who start with us in January as well. So whatever works for you. And in terms of entry requirements, actually the best thing to do, because I know we have students coming to this session today from all over the world, we have an individual webpage with entry requirements for tons of different countries on our website. So if you Google and just go to London Met's website and our international page, you can find your country, click on it. It'll have the exact kind of high school qualifications that you need. It might have, if you're applying to a master's program, what undergraduate qualifications you needed, test scores that match up with your country. And if you don't see, we've really built out the list.
This is really nice.
We keep growing the list. Like I said, I mostly work with applicants from Canada and the US and the Caribbean. So I kind of know, their entry standards really well. But because we have students from, like we said, over 120 countries, everybody's qualifications look a little bit different. You can also look up the English language requirements on there. If you don't see your country listed, you actually can just email us. And it's really easy. It's just international@londonmet.ac.uk, and we can look up your country's qualifications and send it to you. We want to help everybody get through the application process easily. Yeah.
Oh, Megan, let me ask you something. Can you put the link here on the private chat between us? Yeah. And then I'm going to ask my team to put it on the chat, because this is really like an amazing tool, because you guys made it so personalized that you have the information exactly based on the country that you're from. This is super useful. So if you can put the link here, sure. We're gonna share to all of you guys on the chat. Okay, but don't go look now.
Okay.
Wait until no, not you. You can do it. I'm saying like the audience that don't go check the website now. Yeah, you can do it after the live, all right? But now let's take a plan and land in Toronto to learn about the application process for University of Toronto.
Great. So for the University of Toronto, and generally for universities in Canada, the most important thing to remember is that the application process is actually done in 2 steps. So the first step is to submit an online application, and the second step is then to submit all of your documents. So unlike the Common App in the US, or maybe the UCAS app where you might be submitting everything, your transcripts, everything all at once, for universities in Canada, you're going to fill out a form, tell us that you're interested in studying at our school, and then you'll follow up and submit your documents at a second date. I added a link in the chat that we can share with everyone that is a to-do list basically of the steps of how to apply to the University of Toronto. There's 2 ways that students can apply to U of T. There is a direct application to the University of Toronto called the U of T International Application. If you're only interested in applying to U of T, you can apply directly to us on that online application. However, we are in the province of Ontario, and in the province of Ontario, there are 22 universities that students can choose from, and we have a common application for those Ontario universities, and that is the Ontario Universities Application Centre, or the OUAC. The links to all of those applications will be available through the link that's been added in the chat. So you can check that out after today. The OUAC application is great if you're applying to multiple universities. So it works kind of like the Common App, kind of like UCAS, where you can apply to multiple schools. And then once you are looking at those applications, all you have to do is include your contact information, so who you are, where you're from, where you want to study, and what you want to study. That's all you need to indicate on the application form, and then you'll submit it. And then once you submit the application, after about a week or so, each university you've either selected on the OUAC application or the main U of T application, the international application, will write back and we'll say, great, thank you for your application. Now you have to do this. And we'll give you a list of documents that you need to submit for admission. And that will, again, depend on the type of curriculum you're studying. But again, links to our admission requirements will be on that to-do list link as well. So we'll give you a list of everything that you need to submit for admission, and that will happen as part of a second step of the application process. So that's the most important thing that I try and have students remember, is that sometimes they'll fill out the first application and be like, boy, I think I missed something. Like, nope, you probably didn't. You probably did it all. And then you follow up in that second step and submit all of your documents. When it comes to admission requirements, much like Megan and London Met, we have a list on our website of virtually every country in the world, every type of curriculum, because we do get students from applying from all over the world. So you can look up your specific country or your specific curriculum, like IB or British pattern, anything like that, to find those specific requirements on the website. In terms of when our school year starts and sort of when you start the application process, for U of T, we have only a September intake. So students would be looking to start for this September. I did see a question come up in the chat about whether it's too late to apply for this September, and unfortunately it is. Students would typically start the application process about 1 year in advance of when they want to study. So if you're looking to start an undergrad program, let's say in September 2022, the application will actually open later this fall, in early October of 2021. So you'll start that application about a year in advance, fill it out online, submit your documents, and then just like Megan and London Met, admission decisions are typically done on kind of a rolling basis. So the earlier you submit your documents, the earlier you might get a decision from the university.
Great. And guys, I'm so happy because we have already like tons of questions coming up here. So I just wanted we need time to talk about all the other 9 topics. So I'm only going to address 2 questions, all right, for now. But if we have time at the end, then I'll ask my team to come back to these questions regarding applications to get it. So let's pick first I want to get a question from, I think it was Olivia. Let me take a look over here. Yeah, Olivia. Let's put it here. So, by the way, thanks for sending your question, Olivia. She's saying, I'm late to the video, but can we apply now? Isn't it too late in the year? How coronavirus is impacting the application process? And how about the financial support or scholarships? I want you to hold on to the other parts of the questions, the financial support, because we have a topic about that. So just the first part of her question when she asked if it's too late to apply now, or can we get that with you first, Megan?
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, we actually are taking applications for international students until early August for our courses that start in September 2020. With that said, that's a really tight turnaround for students who get accepted and decide to come to get their student visa processed and get over there. So I would recommend, if you were interested in still joining us in September, putting your application sooner rather than later, like now, because it just gives you a lot more time to get organized and get your visa process sorted and, plan your flight. But you technically do have a little bit of time if you'd like to apply for September. And our January applications are open on the website now too. And similar to what Natasha was saying, the UK actually works in the same kind of 2-step process where the initial application is actually quite quick and easy. And I think students sometimes think, oh God, I didn't really send in all my documents yet or upload this. You really can apply now with limited information. You will be asked and requested to back yourself up and upload those documents later to prove that you have the qualifications that you've stated, but you really can go through and do the online application really quickly. So if anyone is interested for this year, there's still some time with us.
Cool. Now I'm going to put a question for Natasha, and just a quick one so we can move forward because we still have lots of topics to cover. But this one, it came from Bianca Medina Sanchez. I read on your webpage that you shouldn't apply very close to the application deadline in January. When would it be considered an early application for a graduate program? Thank you. Thank you for sending your questions. Go ahead, Natasha.
So typically we have a hard deadline for applications. For undergrad applications, it's mid-January, for example. It could be different for graduate programs. But because these applications are done in 2 steps, the earlier you can at least get your initial application to the university, the more time it gives you to submit all of your required documents. I always tell students, the earlier you can submit an application to the university, the better, because it also, when you start submitting your documents, if we notice that something is missing or we need additional information from you, you have more time to submit that information. So the earlier you can submit the initial application, always the better. And early means like the day after it's opened, 2 days after it's opened, a month after it's opened.
Yesterday.
The posted deadline. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So now your turn, Natasha, to pick a number from 1 to 10. 6 is taken.
Let's go with number 9.
Number 9. What is number 9? Let's take a look. Student life. What can the audience, the 61 amazing people that are watching us here today, if they apply to study at University of Toronto, what's their student life is going to be like?
That's a great question. At the University of Toronto, as I mentioned, we're Canada's largest university. So there's about 1,000 different student clubs, committees, and organizations that students can be a part of across all 3 of our campuses. They're everything from political, social, cultural, just clubs. If you're a fan of sandwiches, you can be a part of the sandwich club at the university. There's lots of ways to be involved outside the classroom at U of T, and our students are involved. There is something called a co-curricular record at the University of Toronto, which is basically a transcript that you can get of all of your extracurricular activities at the university, which is really great if you want to show a potential graduate program or a potential employer not only what you learned at the university with your academic transcript, but also with this co-curricular record of all of the things you were involved in. So it could be any of those clubs, committees, organizations. You could be a part of one of our 44 varsity teams at the university where you play competitive sports on behalf of U of T. You could be a part of Canada's largest intramural sports program as well, which has about 10,000 students every year that play sports just for fun at the university. So lots of ways to get involved, lots of things to do, and it's a really, really fun place for a student to be.
Yeah, and those like the things that you do outside the classrooms, that all of these activities that Natasha was sharing here, guys, this is what really helps you to bond with your colleagues, with your friends. Like those are the places where the friendship really flourishes, and it makes the whole experience even better. Especially with universities like the 2 of them that we have here today that have amazing campuses, as we saw in the videos. Like this is really nice. But now. It's your turn, Megan. Student life. What's the student life like at London Metropolitan University?
Sure. Well, we have an awesome student union. So there's loads of clubs and societies and organizations for our students to get involved with. I think something that's neat to note between the 2 universities here today is University of Toronto, like Natasha was saying, has 90,000 students, which is incredible. So obviously they've got about probably 10 times as many clubs and societies as we have, but we still have over 100 different organizations you can be involved with, but we have about 10,000 students. So it's really important to consider, even when you're thinking about the university you're going to attend, what size you're going for, because 10,000 is pretty big, 90,000 is huge, but there's going to be loads of opportunities and just a really different experience based on what's the right fit for you. So our students love being on the sports teams, different kind of organizational clubs based on your interests. We've got a radio station, newspaper, magazine, really anything under the sun you can think of. And I'll drop the link for our student union here so you can see lots of the clubs and organizations you could get involved with. And our student union does such a fun job during international orientation of coming in and introducing themselves and all the different ways you can get involved. And this is really how everybody solidifies friendships in the start of the term. So there's really no shortage of things to do in London, and I'm sure Toronto would be the same. We have our campus life, but being a student and student life in one of these cities is not even just about what's on campus. It's about the entire city you can take advantage of, because the cities put on so much for students from lots of different universities. And the other thing that I like best, that a lot of our international students do, is they're student ambassadors on our campus, and they form some really strong friendships through that, help us with welcome days and open days, and prospective students coming to campus and giving tours and showing them around. Sometimes we can even match them with someone from their home country if they're visiting from another country, because it kind of gives them that feeling of kind of comfort in a new place. So lots going on in terms of student life, facilities, gym, all the kind of amenities that you would look for on a campus. And so I'm sure both campuses have loads to offer you. There'll be no shortage of that.
Cool. We just 5 votes for University of Toronto now from 5 of us, since there are 5 of them. Just kidding. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry. Let's get back to it. Okay, Natasha, so pick a number. Oh, no, wait, it was you, no? Who picked the last one?
Yeah, it was me. It should be Megan now, yeah.
6 and 9 are taken.
Sorry, I was looking down because I'm dropping you a link. Let's see. Let's go with 4.
What is number 4? Post-studies employment rate. This is a big topic here, because for many people, the motivation we have for studying abroad is because we want to also get professional experience, right? We want to have the chance to remain in the country, to work in the country, and come back with our CV looks really nice and stands out. So let's start this one with you, Megan. What can you tell us about the employment, the post-studies employment rates? And I want to give you the chance to talk about the opportunities to work also during the studies, after the studies, and also the support, if there is a support given by London Metropolitan University to help those students to pursue their careers.
Yeah, so this is actually a very timely question, because the UK government has just reinstated essentially an old program that they had, but in a new version. It's the 2-year post-study work visa that's now called the graduate route. And I will drop a link on information from the UK government website on the graduate route. But essentially, students who are finishing their bachelor's or master's degrees as of 2021, so we're kind of just going through the first cycle of these students, are eligible now to apply for a 2-year post-study work visa. So the years previous to now, a lot of international students who have come to the UK to do their degree actually were not able to stay in the UK after graduating, because it can be quite difficult to get sponsorship through a company. And so most of them went back to their home countries. So now, as of any student starting really from our fall programs, if you decided to come to London, you would be able then to apply for this post-study work visa when you finished your bachelor's or your master's degree. It's a 2-year visa where you essentially can apply to any company in the United Kingdom and have the working rights there. So I think that's an awesome opportunity. I know that was something that was a really big push from international students over these years, where they weren't able to stay on. I actually did the UK's post-study work visa myself about more than 10 years ago when they used to have it, and then it was done away with for a while. So I am actually one of those students who got the chance to move over there, loved London so much that I was like, I can't possibly leave right now. Applied for the post-study work visa, stayed, and then I was lucky enough then to actually get sponsored by my company and ended up staying for 7 years. So that does happen to students who go over there. Again, there's not a guarantee that would happen later, but at least they know that they have this 2-year work visa option. So that's the after you graduate side of the story. But in terms of when you are a current student, international students in the UK are on a student visa that allows you to work up to 20 hours per week during your course time. So during any active period of classes, you can have a part-time job 20 hours a week. I find students wouldn't really want to work any more than that if they could, because you're in a full-time course, you've got classes, you've got papers, you've got exams. So you can work 20 hours a week during term time, and then during break periods, you can actually work full-time. So our students can get internships in the city, service learning placements, part-time jobs. You can work, say, in retail or at a coffee shop or at a pub, or get a placement or a job in your actual field of study. I find that students tap into our careers and employability office Oh, I'm echoing. Do you guys hear me echoing? Maybe. Okay. We're all good now. I was hearing myself twice. We have a careers and employability department on campus that helps students while they're students with placements within the city for finding jobs or internships. Sometimes the academic departments help with these kind of placements. We have something called the Accelerator, which is a business entrepreneur startup incubator where students can get the skills to start their own business. We do this big idea challenge every year. I'll drop a link about it in the chat so you can get funding to start up your own business. So there's all these cool career opportunities while you're a current student. And then when you're an alumni, you can still tap into our resources on campus to use portal called the Student Circus to find employment in the UK. So again, the resources really are pretty never ending, but we go over all of this at International Orientation. I'll drop some links in the chat so you can look at that more.
Cool. Just a quick question. What did you graduate in? Which area, which field of study?
I studied media and culture studies.
Oh, nice. And so were you able to get like a job in that field as well?
I got actually really interested while I was an international student in London in bringing other international students there. So I had gotten a part-time job actually with an American study abroad organization that was based in the UK. And I was doing that while I was a student. And then that turned into a full-time role. And they were able to hire me because I had that post-study work visa. The company was able to take me on. So that's how I got into international education.
Cool. Alrighty, guys, by the way, if you have questions about this topic, just put it here in the chat and we're going to address them all as well. All right. But now let's take a plane to Toronto and let's land it there with the amazing Pulse Studies employment opportunities.
Great. Thanks. So I will just give a quick overview of the fact that students can work while they're studying. So much like Megan and London Met, students are able to work while they're studying at the university. So anyone coming to Canada on a study permit is allowed to work on campus right away. So when they arrive in September, if they wanted to have an on-campus job, they could get some on-campus experience in their first year. After 6 months of living in Canada, international students are eligible then to work full-time. So much like Megan and London Met as well, students can have a full-time position in the summer if they wanted to stay in Toronto and work for the summer before recommencing their studies again in September. We also in Canada have a we have great programs in experiential learning. So we do have a lot of what we call co-op programs, meaning students can get paid work experience that's related to their academic studies while they're studying at the university. So they could take a semester off and work full time. Let's say they're in a business program, they could take a semester off and work full time in an accounting firm, for example, and then come back to U of T and continue their studies. So we have ways to integrate learning experiences like this into their programs that are full-time and paid. Students can also, much like London Met, come back and continue to use our career services like while they're a student at the university, and then also up to 2 years after graduation. And for students that have studied at a university in Canada, they can apply for a postgraduate work permit that lets them stay in Canada for up to 3 years after graduation. So the federal government here in Canada is very welcoming for international students generally, and also welcoming for them to stay after graduation and get some Canadian work experience. I was just pulling up some of the stats for you. So we have an 85% employment rate for our students. That's about 6 months after graduation, and that jumps up to 92% for students that are 2 years out from graduation. This data is always a little bit fuzzy because students don't always respond to surveys when we send them out and ask them what they're doing. But those are pretty good rates compared to universities. Internationally, I would say Canadian schools have pretty good employment rates both immediately after graduation and a couple of years after graduation. And I will just highlight as well that for the past couple of years, we have been a part of a global employability ranking, both through the QS and the Times Higher Education. And this year, the Times Higher Education ranked U of T 8th in the world for global employability, meaning that our grads are sought after around the world, both from our undergraduate and graduate programs.
Oh, wow, that's impressive. Really nice. Guys, I think it's safe to say you're both well served in this aspect. Either you choose to go to London or Toronto. All right, then. Who's next?
Natasha.
Natasha. Let's go number one.
Ooh, number one, affordability. This is a very, very popular topic, very important topic. Guys, what I want to approach now is that all aspects of affordability, like what's the average tuition cost of the programs, both undergrad and grad, if you can share, general prices, and also if there are financial aids as well, for instance, like any kind of scholarships or partial or full scholarships for international students. But before you actually start answering this one, I want to ask all of you in the chat to put it here again. Keep voting. Keep voting. If you change your mind, put like a change, the word change next to the hashtag. Okay, so we know that you changed your mind. All right. So let's see who's winning. But anyway, okay, Natasha, go ahead.
So for the University of Toronto, our tuition for international students can range depending on the type of program that you're interested in studying. But I would say on average, students can expect to pay around $59,000 to $60,000 Canadian per year for tuition. It can go up, it can go down a little bit. If you're in an engineering program, it'll be a little bit higher. If you're in our kinesiology or music program, for example, it can be a little bit lower. We price everything in Canadian dollars. So sometimes the Canadian dollar doesn't do well against other dollars around the world. So there could be an inherent discount if you're converting, for example, to US dollars. There could be a significant 20 to 30% discount off of that Canadian value. In addition to the tuition costs, students can expect an average of about $13,000 to $15,000 per year for room and board. So if you are living on campus and having your meals included, that can be around $13,000 to $15,000 depending on the campus and the type of dormitory that you're in. When students are that's for undergraduate programs, I should say. I'm not an expert on our graduate programs, so I'm going to link everyone to our graduate programs in just a minute so that you can get that information for grad studies. In terms of funding, there are award opportunities for international students that are typically merit-based. So we're looking at a student's high school performance for those admission scholarships, or we're looking at their university level performance for any funding opportunities for them in graduate programs. I'm going to add a link to something called the Award Explorer for the University of Toronto. It's basically a searchable database of all of our scholarship opportunities, both at the undergraduate and graduate level. So students can click on, if they're international, if they're looking for admission scholarships, and it'll pull up a list of everything that's available to them. I will just add a note that because we are a public university in Canada, as most universities are in Canada, they're public universities, most of our financial aid, so that's meant for students that have any demonstrated financial need, is reserved for Canadian citizens and permanent residents of Canada. So traditional financial aid packages that you might find at other universities in the US, for example, you can't really access those in Canada because those are saved mostly for Canadian students. So the scholarship route is really the one that most students are going to be looking at when they're looking at the University of Toronto.
Cool. By the way, I asked for everybody to put their hashtags here, Toronto or London. I love this answer over here. I'm going to put it on the screen. Still undecided, need more information. Great. We're going to help you there, Mike. Don't worry. We got more topics coming up. We still have a couple of minutes. So yeah, hopefully by the next 15 minutes, you'll be able to decide. All right, your turn, Megan.
Sure. So coming from where I come from, the United States, I find universities in the UK tend to be much more affordable than the out-of-state and the private options that we have here. So when I'm speaking to a lot of students from North America, they're quite surprised by the tuition fees in the UK in a good way. And also, as I said, for instance, US degrees are normally 4-year bachelor's degrees and 2-year master's degrees. In the UK, it's a 3-year bachelor's, 1-year master's. So you're obviously paying for less years of school. So our tuition and fees does range by course as well. So it will depend on the field of study that you're choosing. However, the average in almost all of our programs cost around 13,000 to 14,000 Great British pounds for next academic year. So you can kind of Google what the conversion is in your local currency. For the US students, that comes out to say around 20,000 US dollars. And so those are the tuition and fees, and that's for the entire year. Again, so that's 13,000 to 14,000 Great British pounds. I would say a selling point for London Met is that we definitely are one of the most affordable universities in London. There's over 50 institutions in London, and the tuition and fees can really range, but London Met are really competitive and quite low compared to others. So that's always a nice thing for our students who are really making that plan to come move overseas, because obviously it's not just the cost of your tuition, but it's your living expenses. It's that flight from your home country. It's your accommodation. So the average kind of cost of living for a student in London is kind of guesstimated based on your lifestyle around £1,200 per month. So that can be plus or minus based on, the accommodation that you choose, the way you grocery shop, all of that. So these are all expenses to have in mind. But I found, being an international student in London, my life was actually quite affordable. I was surprised. People would say to me like, oh, London, like the big city, it must be so expensive. And of course, all major cities in the world are expensive. But I found that London is a city that is so student friendly. There was just discounts on everything. Whenever you pulled out your student ID, there's free events, exhibitions, all the museums are free, pop-up festivals, markets, really affordable grocery shopping. So if you can live on a budget, a student budget, you can do really well there actually. And so we have a lot of resources on campus that can help students with their funding. And we have a student money team that really helps students before they come over if they're concerned about this. In terms of scholarships, we do offer international student scholarships. For our undergraduate and graduate students, we have something called the International Excellence Scholarship. So that's a tuition discount based on your program fees. So we're actually closing up applications for that on July 1st this year. So we'll have our recipients selected soon. And then we actually offer as well a postgraduate scholarship that's full tuition and fees and flights back and forth from your home country. That is a very competitive scholarship, but obviously every year we have some recipients who are chosen to be those scholars, and that is a really fantastic opportunity. So my advice would just be, for any really school you're looking into internationally, the first place to go is look up what their international student scholarships are, because I'm sure there's loads of opportunities out there. Every university wants to support you guys. We know how stressful it can be to plan the finances and to move yourself across the world. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity for that out there.
Absolutely. And you know what, guys, if there was just one place where people could, look for, be informed of like sometimes the scholarships opportunities on Instagram, that would be so nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, and there is, everybody. It's the student world. Follow us there. Don't forget. All right, moving on. I just want to address one quick question because we really need to hurry. So please keep this one short. I want to put here the question coming from Isabella Castillo. She's asking if there are scholarships for transfer students, because you guys mentioned some as scholarships indeed. But what about for transfer students? Would those be included as well, or only people that are starting from ground zero? We can start this one with you, Megan.
Sure. So as of right now, but we reevaluate our scholarships every year. Our scholarships for international students right now tend to be a student starting from year one of the program. So in their first year of their bachelor's or master's degree. This may change. You're welcome. I'll leave my contact details to email me if you're someone who is looking into transferring into do advanced entry into a year beyond year one. But that is the situation right now.
Cool. And Natasha?
Very similar for the University of Toronto. The vast majority of our scholarship opportunities are for students coming into their first year.
Cool. All right, then. So moving on. Who's next to pick? I always forget. Is it Megan this time? I think so, isn't it?
I think it might be. I'm going with all the evens, so let's go 8.
8. What is the number 8? Let's take a look. Programs and faculties. All right, then. Which are the programs and faculties in London Metropolitan University? This is a nice opportunity to give like an overview, because again, we have like over 54 people right now watching us live, and each of them is probably interested in a different area. So this is a good chance for you to say which programs are offered by London Metropolitan University. And also, if I may add, is there a particular field or a particular faculty that you guys are really strong at or known for?
Sure. I'll try to do this quick because I know we're running out of time. So we have 5 schools or faculties over 2 campuses. So one of our campuses is our really creative arts campus. I like to think we have kind of our left brain and right brain campus. So that's our School of Art, Architecture, and Design. So there you're going to find loads of programs in architecture. That's something that we are really, really great at, actually. I would really call that out as a program if anyone is interested in architecture. Also interiors, design, fashion, film, theater, television, photography, creative writing. These all fall into our creative school. And then our other campus houses the other 4 schools. So that's going to be our School of Business and Law. So loads of programs in law, in languages like translating and interpretation, a lot of business programs like MBA, International Business with Project Management, International Tourism and Events, even some in aviation management. They're really all over the map. And then we have our school, also that's going to be programs in marketing and human resources. Then we have our School of Computing and Digital Media. Digital media is actually a really hot, popular program right now. That school has all of our programs in computer networking, IT, cybersecurity is really hot right now. That's because Europe has the GDPR, which I'm sure Carlos knows a lot about, the General Data Protection Regulation. So Europe is really kind of a frontier in the world on a lot of the cybersecurity. So students like to study that in Europe, in the UK, and bring that back to their home countries and really be ahead of the game with that. We also have our School of Human Sciences. So that really brings our super lab into play. We've got sports sciences, pharmaceuticals, biomedical sciences, chemistry, lots of programs in the sciences. And then we have the social professions and social sciences. So that's from psychology, criminology, sociology, international relations is really popular. Some of them with a language component. You can add Spanish, French, Arabic, and a lot of students like to do education tracks, public health tracks. So really that kind of, I think I've broken down. Have I missed any? I think that's it. But I'll drop in the chat our courses, and you can see our different schools, and you can always get in contact if you're interested in if your field of study is something we have.
But I like how you started like organizing them, like the metaphor with the right side of the brain more creative, the other side of the left side more rational. Anyway, but good one. And all right, so Natasha, I think it's easier to ask, what doesn't University of Toronto offer? Am I right?
Yeah, no, we used to actually print that in our brochures. We had a little paragraph of programs that we didn't offer because it was easier to tell students that than what we do offer. So generally speaking, at U of T, we have about 18 different faculties and schools. We have well over 100 different departments, academic departments that students can choose to study in. We have at the undergraduate level over 700 different program options across all 3 campuses. So again, that includes things like arts, business, science, engineering, music, kinesiology, and architecture. At the graduate level, we have 400 different areas of study and more than 300 different graduate programs that are offered through our School of Graduate Studies. We also have a faculty of law, medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, rehab sciences, and physical therapy, occupational therapy, you name it, we probably offer it at the University of Toronto.
Cool. All right, guys, time to address one quick question, or maybe 2, let's see, from this particular topic. Let's bring someone here on the stage. Miriam Mireille Aitekin, I think you probably mispronounced. But is there any physics master's degree program, like solid state? Can you guys answer, Megan, and it's starting with you?
Sure. You know what? That is actually a field of study that we do not have at London Met. We have a lot of programs in the sciences and mathematics, but we don't have physics at this time. I would say, though, if you're interested in London as a destination or the UK, the UK government and the British Council has a really good website called Study UK, and you could put in the field of study you're interested in, and it will show you universities in the UK that would have physics. So I wouldn't want you to not consider London just because we don't necessarily have that.
Cool. And how about University of Toronto?
So we offer both master's and PhD programs in our physics department at the university. I just tossed a link into the chat for the School of Graduate Studies, which gives you an overview of the programs. I don't know the specific details of the topics covered in those master's and PhD programs, but I can say we probably do something related to solid state at U of T.
Cool. Guys, now we have a time only for one more topic. So, Natasha, what would be the last topic we're going to approach today?
Let's go number 10.
Number 10. Ooh, nice way to close out, which is alumni network. As you can see, a great alumni network can be a very, very important tool on building your career, right? Open new doors and so on after your studies. So I want to give you the opportunity to tell us a little bit about like the alumni network of your institution and how can future students benefit from joining this network.
So for the University of Toronto, we have an extensive alumni network. I alluded to it earlier in that we have over 600,000 living alumni in over 190 different countries and territories around the world. So inevitably, I feel like you'll run into someone who knows someone who went to U of T or went to U of T themselves. I just put a link in the chat to our alumni network at the university. We do a lot of work with our students when they're graduating. We do things like a program called 10,000 Coffees where they can have mentorship with an alum in a field that's working in an area that they're interested in. We also have several different types, working from home, that was my doorbell, sorry everyone. So we have networks that students can be a part of where they can meet other alumni of similar ages and build their own networks, and then also have the opportunity to connect with alumni that are really successful in the fields that they're in. We also have from the university graduated, prime ministers of the university, the prime ministers of Canada, governors general of Canada, athletes, Olympic athletes, astronauts. We've had several people from the university go on and do some pretty incredible things. A couple of names that might be recognizable include Malcolm Gladwell, who's a pretty well-renowned author. He's a graduate from the University of Toronto, as well as Margaret Atwood, two really phenomenal authors that are proud U of T alum.
Oh, Carlos, I think you're on mute. Okay.
Yeah. Our team is like, no, you already said too much. Just let them talk. But jokes aside, I think that the current mayor of London is actually an alumni of London Metropolitan University. Am I right, Megan?
He is Sadiq Khan. So if you see him in the news globally, you can know that he was a student at London Met. He studied law there.
Cool. And what can you tell us about the alumni network?
Yeah, so we have a large alumni network globally as well. There's about 180,000 former students who are in our global alumni network around the world. A lot of them have gone back to their home countries. And so there could be opportunities really in every continent and region if you stay active and involved with the alumni network. If you're back in London, you get access to events and things that are being put on by the university for the rest of your life if you're an alumni. And then we also are trying to build our network of local alumni chapters. Like I have started an alumni community for the students from the US and Canada, just to really be able to have a more focused network when they get back home. So that's something you can get involved with at either university, really. I think that's kind of the fun of know that you're not just a student during your master's or during your bachelor's, you become a student at our institution forever. So that's something you can look forward to.
Cool. All right then, guys, if you want to send your questions, please, now is the time. That is the last opportunity to send your questions here in the chat, because now we're moving towards the end of today's live. We're gonna give now we're gonna give the opportunity for a final statement, which is the question: why should students pick to study at your university? Why study in the University of Toronto, and why London Metropolitan University, right? So let's start this one with you, Natasha. Why the University of Toronto? And again, thank you so much for joining and accepting our invitation to be here today.
I just want to say thank you again for having us. It was a real pleasure to do this this game with you guys today. So I think why students should consider choosing the University of Toronto. I think we highlighted a lot of those reasons today. So the fact that we are ranked 18th in the world and have that globally recognized degrees and portability of a University of Toronto degree, both undergraduate and graduate programs. The fact that we are located in the city of Toronto, in the Greater Toronto Area, which is North America's fourth largest city. So we're right behind New York, LA, and Mexico City in terms of size. So we are the financial hub of Canada. We are the artistic cultural hub of Canada as well. So students can really take advantage of that when they're studying here. It's really a great place to be a young person. And then the fact that students can really customize their degrees, both undergraduate and graduates can do that with things they're involved in outside the classroom and also what they're studying. So really find their passions at U of T and carve out their own niche at the University of Toronto. I think those are some of the key reasons why students may want to consider studying at U of T.
Hashtag Toronto. Very well. Thanks. Christina just sent us a question. Great, Christina. Christina Diaz. We're going to address right after Megan says answer why London Metropolitan University is the place to study. And also, guys, please hurry up. We're going to have time to address maybe 3-4 questions. So please hurry. All right. So Megan, why should students choose London Metropolitan University?
Sure. I mean, to me, London Met is just a really special place because studying in London as a city out of the entire globe really is this experience that you're going to have like no other in terms of the global perspectives you get, people truly from every place in the world, every background. There's no way it won't change you when you go back to your home country, or if you decide to stay in the UK and work there. And so you're in this huge metropolis, which can often be really overwhelming. But London Met offers this kind of this community that's really close knit, and everyone feels connected. Everybody is respected as an individual there. The biggest feedback I get from students is how close they are with their classmates and their new best friends that are from different continents, and their faculty. First and foremost, it's very personal, it's very intimate, so you can feel like you're a part of something and not lost in this major metropolis. And so you get to have that experience of being part of the huge London environment and everything that it has to offer, from arts and culture and the history, the fusion of ancient history with very modern skyscrapers. And then anytime you're feeling overwhelmed or lost in that big city, you've got this home at London Met's campus. So I put my contact in the chat too. So if anyone wants to get in touch with me, we can talk further on it. But I find, I guess that's, rankings and all the different things I could throw out there. To me, it's just, I feel like when I'm on London Met campus, it's that connection and that feel you have because you're leaving home and feeling like there's a home for you in a new place.
Definitely is. All right, then we just put it here, guys, the contact information for Natasha, and we are putting now the contact information for Megan as well. So after the live, I know you're going to probably have lots of more specific questions that you want to ask them. So please go ahead and send them an email, and they will love to help you out. So this is the email for London Metropolitan Museum, London Metropolitan University, which is international at londonmet.ac.uk. All right, so it's 1 hour and almost 10 minutes already. Let's address just one final question here from Christina. So Christina is asking, how does the process work if I have to apply in the fall, but one of the most important exams is in June for me? Natasha.
Sure. So for U of T, as long as you're in your final year of high school, we can consider you for what's called a conditional offer of admission. So we can take a look at your final results from the previous year, any in-progress results you have from, any coursework, interim grades, things like that from your final year of high school. We can use that to consider you for a conditional offer of admission. And that conditional offer means that we are going to ask you to send us your final exam results in June. And that as long as you've met our conditions, like maintaining a certain grade or achieving a certain mark on that exam or your final results, that you keep that offer at the University of Toronto, so that you don't have to wait to complete your studies to apply. You can apply in the midst of your final year for that conditional offer.
Cool. Megan, I'm going to give you a different question because we're running out of time here. It's from Juan Garcia. Is asking, what are you searching for in international students?
Wow, that's a great question. Well, the other question, I will say it's the same exact answer that Natasha just gave for London Met in terms of if you
Copy and paste. Copy
and paste. But what are we searching for? I would say our admissions team and the campus in general is just looking for students who have a passion and a drive for, doing something different. I think that is true of any student who's looking perhaps to pursue their degree outside their home country. There's some sense of adventure, some sense of curiosity, and then being able to articulate that like in your personal statement when you apply, like why this city, why the UK, why this university, why this course and field of study. Maybe you've looked into the faculty and you're really inspired by some of their work. Maybe you have a career goal in mind and you have a dream that you want to achieve, and just being able to really express that to us in your statement when you apply, that I think would be the top things we'd be looking for from international applicants.
Cool. Well, and let me put it here. We got like Renan saying both universities are great. For now, I choose Toronto, but I'm going to check each website for more information of the programs. That sounds great, Renan. Please, guys, do just like Renan, go ahead. We have shared all the links here, links for the programs, links for the all the topics that we approach here. Natasha and Megan, they came super prepared and they put all the links here on the chat. So please go ahead, do a little bit of research and contact them as well if you do have questions. All right. So with that being said, unfortunately, we don't have time to answer the other questions. I'm so sorry, Stephen. I see your questions here. But guys, please send your questions directly to them by email, and they will gladly answer and help you. All right. So Natasha and Megan, thank you so much. And I hope to see you again in another episode of the Student World here.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Bye-bye, guys. All right, then. And for all of you, now we have 36 people watching us live here. Guys, I hope you had fun today. I really enjoyed today's live, right? We had the chance to get to know more about these two amazing universities. Unfortunately, the University of Sydney was not able to join us. This is really sad. But we'll do our best to bring them back and for another episode. All right. Again, don't forget to send us a direct on Instagram, or send us a message, or on Facebook, whatever you prefer, just with suggestions for future episodes. So which university would you like us to invite for a live here? And we will do our best to bring them. All right. And so, yeah, if you haven't liked yet this video, like this video. So we know that we're in the right path. We're providing contents that you are enjoying and you're finding useful. And don't forget to subscribe, because again, every week we're back here with more episodes of the Student World Lives. All right. So thank you so much. Hope you had fun. Thank you, Renan. Thank you, Milagros. Thank you, Bianca Medina. Thank you, Esteban. Thank you, who else? Juan Garcia. Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Torres. Thank you. Blah, 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 blah. So many people here. I can't thank you, everybody. But again, I'm so happy to have you here today. And yeah, guys, go enjoy the rest of the day. If it's still afternoon for you, go have a great night of sleep if it's the evening. And I'll see you back here next week. The Student World, whatever you want to study, we know how to get you there.